What's up, YouTube? How you doing? Welcome to Second Wake. Last episode was episode 23. We are episode 24. We're almost half a year in on this. Is that crazy? You guys are level 4 and we blanked for half a year. What is time in D&D? Yeah, it's been like, I think I looked at my calendar when I was prepping earlier this afternoon, and I think you guys have been playing now for a little bit of over like 2 to 3 in-game weeks, just shy of, probably like closer to like 2 and a bit. And I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. It's been 6 months to play like 2 weeks. That's D&D, baby. Like, considering a whole week, a combat takes a whole episode pretty much because combats are rough. But yeah, so that's easy. So rather than pick on anybody, I will simply ask, does anyone in our Seekers of Galanti want to break down what happened last week? Going once. Going twice. I'll take it. All right, I'll take it. No big deal. All right, so when we last left our heroes, they had succeeded in forming diplomacy in effectively defusing and otherwise making a tense situation into a very valuable negotiation between a noble of Silverhearth and the Fae that inhabit and populate Tiber Village. They decided to be best in their best interests to not slow down or otherwise harrow their journey any further by risking arrest within the village, fearing that they had mildly angered, and by they I mean a certain rogue who may or may not be a foot tall riding on a very chubby cat right now, might have angered or upset a number of the Fae that could possibly seek vengeance. With that, they set out on their journey across the plains of Idrun, heading along their way for quite some speed and quite some gusto before coming into view of a very carnal scene, one involving a number of other wagons, passengers on the road themselves, of the southern roads, leading further down towards Wren's Fork, their actual mission. Seeing these overturned wagons, they had noted a strong avian presence in the area, one in which that alerted them to a number of concerns, bringing them to eventually come to a standstill and investigate a little bit closer before being set upon by a Kenku and their shard of mirror that they were able to get the jump on Colt Honeycutt and slit his throat once and for all, killing... No, I wish he was dead, but he's not dead. He's not dead yet. I'll kill him again. Mark my words, chat. I'll kill him again. Don't try me. Don't try. I'll kill any one of these motherfuckers. You spend 100,000 points, we'll talk. We'll do lunch. Anyway, so it's like, can't be bought? No, I can be bought. So Colt, being concussed, knocked on the ground, and otherwise made inaccessible, set things in motion to cause a fight. So I can do like this, right? Big ol' X over Colt. During this time, the group sprang into action, having to defeat a number of swarms of large, ravenous birds, as well as a small, magically inclined bird, that a macaw that had spoken to them and had initiated much of this confusion and strangeties. After doing battle for a time, including a moment where Colt was relieved of his firearm, the Seekers of Galanti proved that they ain't no bitches, driving off the unseen forces, defeating them handedly, and moving forward to effectively investigate the area and see what they could piece together as to the identities of the family that had been torn apart, as well as the larger creatures in attendance that at this point are yet unidentified. Coming into contact and ending our episode last week, we saw the group investigate 2 mysterious crates that had been set aside and yet unopened, Bucky revealing the first to be a number of jars containing strange worm-like maggotus creatures that, upon further investigation, proved to be nearly fatal. Some quick thinking with a torch and some otherwise handy work would see that the group themselves relieved Bucky of his uninvited inhabitant into his body before it could do any serious and or permanent damage. You got worms. If Bucky, when you guys go for a long rest, if Bucky's wiping his ass on the rug, maybe you got to put Bucky down, Hey, I'm just saying, That's not a me thing. That's just, there's not a vet anywhere here. No one's a druid. Bucky is the guy trained in nature. He's pretty screwed, just saying. But past that, the other item that they uncovered was a beautiful, almost vase sort of design, a small container in a bright metallic that depicted what appears to be a somewhat angelic presence holding a long blade, and in the back of it these small supple ripples across the back of the actual design, the bottom of which had a very curious and rather distinct sort of sigil across the bottom, one that seems to stare deep within the souls of men. That no one identified, no one can figure out what it does, but who cares? It's a bottle, and it's got a cork in it. How dangerous could it be? It was definitely only in a crate by itself, weighed down by false weights. But, who knows? We then saw the group say, fuck that cask full of worms, chuck some fire in it, and burn them all with fire, because we're not dealing with that bullshit on the road. And that is where we left off, as the flames begin to crunch, crack, shatter, and break the various glass jars and already haphazardly packed in cases. You look across, you can see that you stand alone. Many of the birds now dispersing, moving on about their way, and otherwise leaving the area of themselves. The fire burns, both crates stand empty. The intruder, this Kenny the Kenku, has been slain, shot through the heart, and Colt's to blame. Colt gave Love a bad name. I'll try not to get demonetized during an actual D&D stream, but I can only do so much, folks. I got the songs in me. I don't have the voice for it, but I got the songs in me. Got the music in me. So yeah, that is where you guys are at. The smoke begins to plume and plummet outside of the crate, where these maggotus worms begin to hiss and cackle as they are burned seemingly alive under the might of the fire that was thrown into their crate. But otherwise, you have the area to yourselves. Your horses are well maintained, as Colt has retreated back to the wagon, awaiting for when the group decides to leave. He has made preparations ready and made sure that the horses are fed and maintained. At this time, it is a little bit into the earlier afternoon, roughly 3 to 4 p.m. Enough time to settle down if needed, or to press on further towards a more suitable area of rest within the plains of Airdrin, among the country of Ravon. Seekers, what would you like to do?
Well, how is everyone feeling after that?
Strangely okay.
I'm a little rustled up. But I'm sure I could pass along if need be, if we need to keep on.
I got fucked up. Like, it hurt. And I would love to take a little rest before we head off again. So I just wanted to see if anyone else was interested in that.
Yeah,
I
sure.
love that idea.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful.
So you guys want to set up camp, or do you want to do a short rest?
Short rest.
Oh, a short rest squad. Let's go. All right, easy enough to do. If you guys are all in agreement, you can head back to your wagon, make preparations, ensure that everything is well maintained, and set up a small perimeter area where you can take an hour's rest and recover what you're able to do. So with that, you all can, if you're using D&D Beyond, you can click your short rest button and activate your short rest, roll any hit dice you'd like, use any of your short rest abilities, recover any of your expended short rest abilities, but otherwise you handle the math. You don't have to tell me all the rolls. So much paperwork. You know how many notes I got on this campaign? I ain't maintain your characters. That's 6 things that are not my problem. Every time you get a pet, I love it, because I'm like, this is your responsibility. Here you go. Here's your henchman. I'm not running that shit. I almost prefer not to know. I kind of hate that. Like, there's some DMs out there that are like, I know that they exactly have this many AC and this many hit points. I'm like, I don't even hide my rolls. Fuck that shit. Bullshit. It's not my problem. It's called micro managing. Just go, yeah, sure. Just get out there. I'll contact you if it's a problem. But yeah, if there's anything you guys want to accomplish during your short rest, please let me know. But otherwise, we'll pick up right after your short rest.
The only other thing that I want to do is just finish collecting from the bone piles I was off of the bird. So I just go, because I was distracted from it, to go check out the things.
Yeah, easily enough to do. You find yourself able to find a number of like small discarded burlap trading sacks among the wagons. As you head back, you're like, this will be perfect. And you manage to come to collections. I think it was like 3 different bone piles.
I wanted to get 2.
Oh, 2, okay. Yeah, so a number of bone piles that have been pulled from these large vulture-like hawk creatures. These kind of elongated, sharp beaks, but you find underneath their wingspan they were tucking effectively corpse bones, bleached white. You manage to pull it all out of their feathers, get it all organized together, make into 2 separate piles, and then slowly package it up and throw it into the back of the wagon, safe and sound. If you would like, you can put that you have 2 bone corpses in your inventory. For anyone else?
Orville wants to ask Bucky what's going on with this weird skull that he found among the bones.
Bucky.
You know, I'm not really sure yet. I think we'll have to find out. Get it identified.
Fuck around and find out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Bucky, do you think you can roll nature on this?
Can I roll nature?
You can always roll nature.
All right.
What do you? Which item is it specifically?
It's the weird skull that I found on the large vulture like creature.
Oh yeah,
kind of had like tusks or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah.
That's a 21.
A 21. You look over it, and there are a number of similarities that you've noted from larger creatures. Everything from kind of an orcish nature for the kind of slimming of the skull, the points where it's narrow. You note the forehead has a much denser, thick mass of bone. As you're kind of looking over this more heavy-set skull, and you're trying to identify a bit of what race this might belong to, you come to assume at this point it is most likely a monstrous race. Without its flesh or any type of particulates, it is more difficult to assume. You know it is innately not human, but as you kind of look it over itself, signs to you would point more to almost like a boarish creature. You would know, especially further south past the steam fields, with a 21, right?
Yep.
Okay. You know that there is a small roving band of they call themselves protectors, but you know them to be kind of a nuisance among the various reaches of the realm. But they are a group of individuals that are boarmen. They have taken upon a curse upon them of a kind of lycanthropic curse to turn them into these large tusked boar people. The curious nature here is that this skull seems to have retained their kind of warged forms rather than any reversion upon their death. You've heard that they don't tend to take on their initial forms once they've taken their pacts and oaths, but it is rather curious that whatever bewitchment that they curse themselves with for their form has retained its pathing all the way through death.
That's an interesting skull there, Orville. Might be one of them boarmen from the south.
Wait. Is that like... That's like man, bear, pig?
Oh. Okay, hold on, pause. We here at Second Wake do not condone Orville's racist shenanigans, okay? All boar people are equal, okay, and valid. Thank you. Okay, you can continue now, you racist piece of shit. Man, bear, pig. My stream? Not today. All right, go ahead.
I ain't never heard of people like that, but it's good to know they exist.
Well, they actually they transform themselves into these creatures, and it's kind of odd that its skull is still like this, but might have some value to it.
Huh. All right. When you say transform, you mean like JJ when she turns into that weird rabbit thing?
Exactly.
Or what? Oh, okay. All right. Well then. Thank you.
JJ,
do you want the skull at all?
No, you can keep it.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't have much use for it.
Well, maybe Velithil could get some use out of it.
Hey, Velithil, you want this neat boar man pig thing skull?
Oh, I'd love it. Thank you.
I'll hand the skull on over to Vel.
All right, Vel, you take this hefty skull. Again, it has a very dense feeling. As an aside, JJ, you hear the the weird thing JJ turns into. And if we're playing a Telltale game, it just pops up and it's like, JJ will remember that. But Val, you look over the dense, thickened bones and you kind of compare it to the two piles you just made. This actually kind of fits 1-to-1 for a number of the pieces you were able to scavenge out of these creatures. The actual body of this larger beast seems to be almost completely intact. You might be missing a bit of like a shoulder and one of the arms, but overall you have a nearly intact Borman skull, or Borman body specifically, a skeletal structure. You might say you have delicious boar's head. Eat it. Not sponsored. I just love boar's head. I was reminded of that.
I shall name you London Port.
Oh God, so good, so good. Fucking port wine, so good. Also, if you're not on the Discord, I made some crazy ass steak last night. Let me just tell you, check that shit out. It was fucking divine. Anyway, moving on. Cooking streams, we do those too. So yeah, you all complete your short rest. You feel successfully have identified the strange skull that these creatures had been carrying with them, and the number of bones are starting to make a bit more sense that these creatures had flown in from some other areas. With that, anything else you want to do during your short rest before you guys hit the road once again?
Would you all like me to identify that vial before we go?
That's up to you. I'm happy to sit here and.
Well, I was thinking about doing it when we went to our proper rest, but if we want to know what we're holding, at least try to know before we head off.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I think I like that idea. So JJ's gonna take it out, hand it to Vel.
Okay.
I will
keep watch.
take my book and begin ritual casting Identify.
Sure. You go ahead and identify. Innately, the vial itself is actually non-magical, which is rather fun. It identifies itself as an artisan craft. It has been handmade, passionately so. But you do get the information that the vial you confirm through magical means. You hear these whispers of the Shadowfell telling you dark secrets as you continue to pull a bit of truth out of things you should not know. But the spell almost empowers your mind to this. As you hear these whispers, you confirm your suspicion that the vial itself, while non-magical, was created through some type of manipulation. There are hints and traces of some type of craftsmanship almost related to the things and marvels that Bucky is able to pull off with his cantrips. A reshaping and toning and making out of an arcane use to create this. Your suspicion, or rather less suspicion with Identify, that a creation spell was used to form raw material into this vial. The vial itself identifies as a vial of Gon Ador.
That answers my question if it would give me the name of the eye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would I know a way to identify the potion or what's inside?
So per what we have for 5th edition, yeah, you uncork it, you stick your finger in it, and you lick your finger, and you get a base understanding of what the potion is by tasting it. Or you can touch it and cast Identify on it. Either way, you're touching it.
Is everyone okay with that?
I would like to present the slot machine and ask if you'd like to pull the handle.
Would Vel have told us what the vial is called?
Yeah, no, I would have. All the information that I got would be shared.
Can I do any sort of history check on Gonador?
You can roll, if anyone is trained in religion, you can attempt to roll. Orville, you're trained in religion?
Oh, hell yeah.
I love that you're the one who has a criminal background and that literally the law is like the church in Deerwood. And so you're, of course, the one trained in religion, too? That's great.
Of
Okay,
course.
go ahead and roll
course.
religion. I love it. I love it. We'd love to see it.
That is a total of 6.
Total of 6. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not a very common name. Ganador is not a well-spoken entity. With a 6, you're really stretching your mental capacity to think about where you might have heard it. It's not wholly unknown to you in some circles. Even the name itself holds some fleeting memory to Velithil. She'd seen the symbol before, but never really heard the name spoken aloud. With a 6, being that you are trained in history, you know that it is not so much an official deity, or not one that is like well recognized within the world of the Everwield. But you know that the Weavers chosen, while the primary, the Realm Weavers, will not the primary, objective force of good or bad or anything. Like literally the creators of this realm are the primary worship of the realm itself. There are a number of sects of magical adept people that seek out answers from other beings from beyond reality. This is a name that would be in one of those categories, whereas the realm in which you live, you have definitely overhanging deities in that of the Realm Weavers, that is in like secular worship. You do know, being a trained person of religion, that there are more, not so much elder or like forbidden things to worship, but there are those who are magically inclined who speak that they know the truth of the world. Many churches in the area speak of them as heretics and sacrilegious in that respect, but there are those who worship beyond the boundary of reality, as they claim. This is one of those names that you've heard talked about by kind of the old crazy person in robes shouting about the great spaghetti monster in the sky. It's kind of the same inflection in that for Ganador.
Now, Vel, that's a funny name you mentioned. You know, I don't think they're of this realm that you can get to them that easily. I once heard a crazy person kind of say, one does not simply walk to Ganador.
I'll fucking kill you.
Well,
Live on stream.
that does make sense that it is a rather grand individual. I do recall the symbol being used in some transmutative circles. There were so many different studies back home. So my assumption is that it is likely of some transmutation nature, but I don't think that I would suffer any ill effects to identify it. It's how you figure out what any potion is. But this is
Are we sure it's a potion?
It's in a bottle, and the bottle isn't inherently magical. If it was containing a creature, the bottle would then be magical. So it shouldn't be like Mr. Vazda.
Or some kind of weapon?
And
I mean, if you're afraid of me just opening it, like, you can all stay back about 40 feet. Generally, all the worst things go in about circles of 30 feet.
I think we ought to make a little room for it if you're gonna open it for sure.
I'd like to be close to Vel, just in case. I'll stay a little closer.
All right. I love to dip my fingers into mysterious and horrible things, and I've only got 5 left, so let's see how this goes for me.
If you want, I could do it too, and we could just have the doctor on standby, if you wish.
But I can cast Identify on it.
Indeed. Okay, you're right. Head empty.
And I doubt something of... This just doesn't seem like a mundane potion to me.
Certainly. All right. Henceforth.
So yeah, we'll step away from the wagon.
Mhm.
And JJ will stand however far she wants to stand.
Like 10 feet back.
It's fine, JJ. I know how
Ready.
explosions work in this world now. They're just sparklers.
All right, so you hold this vial out, this brightly, kind of dazzlingly made vial, rather expensive looking. I'll make and model this very much like platinum and hints of silver that have been blended into it. You look at it, you pull the cork, and what are you aiming to do with it?
I'll cast Identify on the actual potion.
Okay, you how you have one arm.
Mage Hand.
Oh, you mage. Okay, so you mage hand hold it, and then you touch to do the spell. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you do that, and then wait a second. Hold on a second. Wait, hold on. That makes sense.
And
okay.
if that doesn't work and I need it longer, I can just cast Alter Self and give myself an arm for a little while.
That makes sense. I was like, hold on a second. Mechanically, verisimilitude. Hold on. Let's see this. No, that makes complete sense. We're good. It is less than the weight requirement for mage hand, so you're good there. So you have it floating in front of you. You take your finger and go to kind of reach in through the kind of long stem neck of the vial and reach down into your finger, and you feel something tap against your finger, and it almost feels as if it moves inside of this vial. I need you to make me a strength saving throw.
Can JJ walk up to Vel real quick and just give her a shoulder pat of reassurance?
As in like Bardic Inspiration?
Yes!
I would normally say you have to do it beforehand, but being that we are below level 5, I will allow it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Vel, if you'd like, you can add JJ's inspiration to your roll.
It's a pretty good roll, but I'm still going to add this on here.
Sure. What's it, a D6, right? I think.
I got a 6 on that D6. That brings me to a 19.
19. Okay. JJ very, very quickly rushes up and goes, "Oh, before I forget, good luck." Socks to the back. Yeah, just know for future, always good to do it beforehand, not after, but no big deal. You reach in, you touch this thing, you attempt to begin a casting of Identify, which would take a minute of being in contact with this thing, and you feel it kind of, whatever's in there almost shifts its weight, even though it is being kept magically stable, and it seems to shift its weight at the bottom of this barrel. Oh no, who did we lose? Morgan, why? Oh, she's back. Hi, Morgan, welcome back. Discord's not your friend today. Beep boop. Hello, I can hear you.
I just keep.
Oh yeah, Discord's a cruel and horrible mistress sometimes. You feel it kind of inch away from your hand, and then you feel it kind of lunge forward and tap into the tip of your finger. You feel this sticky, almost sap or honey-like feeling encoat your finger, a warmth, but it's not so much a normal warmth. You're not feeling like heat. You're feeling almost like an alchemical nature in contact with your finger. With that, you make your saving throw, and you manage to pull your finger out, and you feel almost like sticky sap adhering to the tip of your finger before you come to your senses and go, oh, and you pull your finger away, and you feel it kind of like, almost like rip off like a day-old Band-Aid. You kind of have that bit of sticky residual feeling to it. You take 9 points of acid damage. And as you're sitting there, and in the few 6 seconds or so that this is happening, you pluck your finger out from the cork of it, you start to see something shiny begin to kind of worm its way up through the top of this vial.
No, I close it back up.
Okay,
right after that.
Then you and put the cork back in, and it fits right into place. You note your mage hand, when you put it down, it almost shifts a little bit, as if there's a bit of push that would result in exceeding the weight limit for just a moment. And you see the mage hand kind of like before righting itself back, and it seems sealed once again.
Yeah, there's something in there.
Vel says this, and her finger that she touched with has like, it almost looks like a bright red marking, as if she just took a small chemical peel, like a she's just peeling her skin a little bit. No big deal.
I just I'm gonna come back from this one without another arm, aren't I? I need to stop doing stupid shit like this. Yeah, that's something bad and highly, highly acidic, because it barely touched me and that burned like a bitch.
Oy.
Well, it seems like they're hauling some pretty heavy cargo then.
And it's
Whoever
not
then.
just like an acid. It moved. It reacted to me putting my finger in.
So there's something living in there?
I would think so. How much do I know about ooze?
About ooze?
Yeah, because that's my assumption it would be some type of
mean-
ooze. I'd understand that they're a type of creature, right?
Yeah, like you're trained Arcana, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you know what an ooze is. Like oozes exist. You once knew a man named Ivan. He was a master of oozes. He
It's a
taught
good
you everything
man.
you know about oozes. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
So yeah, my assumption would be this would be some sort of ooze, considering its motions. I have no idea of what type. I'm not like an expert. It's a small vial, so I think it would be a smaller one.
Well, given the
Prob-
length they took to hide it, I'd say it's pretty valuable and pretty dangerous.
Yes, we don't have the proper facilities to test with this, though, so if we want to keep this on us, we should keep it secret and keep it safe.
You bastards.
What?
I
We have to take
started
it to
it. That falls
Gondor.
on me.
Yeah, shakes head in Gandalf. You bastards. You bastards. I'll be making all the puns around here. Thank you very much.
Well, if you'd
But,
like, I'll keep carrying
I-
it.
It is not a potion.
I mean, could be. Everything's a potion if you're brave enough.
I'll take some of my ointment that I've been using to lighten my scars a bit and then apply that to my burned finger.
It cackles. No, I'm kidding. Your finger laughs at you. No, you wipe it in. Yeah, the soothing aloe that's mixed in with this ointment does soothe your finger quite a bit. You actually feel it, and as you apply the ointment, you almost feel like a cold. And you hadn't really. It kind of went numb a little bit, and so as you're applying the ointment, you have this moment where you're like, "Oh wow!" Like, and you can start feeling the wind around again, and you hadn't really fully realized it, but whatever it did to burn your finger, there was some type of residual chemical that was still coated to the tip of your finger, and until the application of this ointment, it was still technically burning your finger, but your body had become numb to the feeling.
Oh. I will inform everyone else of that. This thing starts burning you and you stop feeling it.
We call that who's trained in medicine? Someone trained in medicine. We call that nerve damage, folks. Orville goes, "I'm a doctor. Hold on."
I don't know. That sounds like it's some real bad news.
Yes. So, if we want to keep this, be very careful with it. As I've said before in the past, I'm the last person to tell you what to not mess with. Like, have fun with it if you want to, but this is dangerous. I'll hand it back to JJ.
JJ, you now have this resealed vial.
She's gonna take some of the extra cloth that she had bought for winter traveling and kind of wrap it around the top so that it kind of maybe stays a little more, and she'll also wrap the vial so it doesn't break.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's little chance of it breaking, being that it's made out of construction, but yeah, tying it together so that the cork doesn't just like pop off accidentally in the back of your pack, probably a good idea. Easily enough to do. You take a piece of scrap cloth, wrap it up, tie it as tight as you can get it, and shake it a few times, and you make sure there's no chance that it's going to go anywhere. All right. So with that, you all complete your short rest. An hour has passed. It's leaning now towards early evening, 4, almost 5-ish. The road is yours if you so choose to travel it, or you can continue however you'd like. The options are yours, and yours alone.
Shall we just head on a little ways? Just a few hours into the evening, so we're not sitting right by a massive field of death that would likely attract other creatures?
Yeah, that and if anyone comes this way for any sort of reason, it looks kind of odd, I'm sure. I'm good.
Yeah,
Going.
I definitely would blame us for this. I mean, I stole a bag of bones from it. Let's go.
All right. Everyone in agreement?
Oh yeah. Is the couple still with us?
Oh no, they stayed in Tiber Village. By the time you guys finished your meeting, they had already concluded their business. They got over their small fears once the Fae revealed themselves to be mostly not a threat to those who are nice. They went about their business and managed to thank the noble on their way out. So no worries there.
All right.
Yeah. So with that, you all rejoin Morgan within the wagon. JJ and Vel adorn themselves upon hot dog and mustard? Ketchup?
Sesame.
I once
Sesame,
again
that's
mount
the one.
the hot dog.
Mount the hot dog. So you all pony up and set out and begin traveling the road southward, unharried and unbroken from the experience, but wiser for it. You all continue to make your way down the southern road through the plains of Irdran, leaving from Tiber Village. You continue for quite some time. A few hours begin to pass. You see the horizon begin to darken. The sun begins to dip low as it begins to crest against the horizon itself, and sunlight begins to bleed from the world itself. You, at the end of this few hours of additional travel, you come to view a rather strange looking, not so much a settlement, so to speak, but a meeting point, nevertheless. A large iron signpost sits in the middle of 3 intersecting roads, all pointing different directions. The sign pointed on the road that you're currently walking says Tiber Village. The one to the southeast states mountains. And then finally, you see the one to the west pointed and says Wren's Fork. Just past the large sign itself, you note a massive 4-story building that has been constructed out of almost what appears to be a hodgepodge of varied materials. Everything from heavy set, freshly cut and carved and cured wood to pieces of what appear to be leather, scrap, and hide that makes up much of the front porch and fixings. A number of wooden support beams seem to have been replaced with tusks and various bones that seem to be far too large for any humanoid creature. And you can hear laughter and entertaining sounds from inside. The outside of this facility having a number of wagons and stabled creatures lined up along the outside and tied down to various hitching posts. By all accounts, it appears to be some sort of inn.
Well, this is quite fortuitous.
It seems quite nice.
Now I won't need to borrow Orville's pillow.
I'm going to assume we're going to want to sit here. I'm going to try and find somewhere to park our cart and our horses so that all of our stuff can be together.
Sure. You look over the area, survey the scene. You survey the scene, you find a number of different areas where you could hitch up your collected horses and as well make space for your wagon to be situated. Colt says, well, why don't you all you can go on ahead without me, and I'll catch up once I get all the horses taken care of.
Thank you, Colt.
Yeah, thank you, Colt.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, buddy.
Don't get in any fights without me. I'm serious.
I make no promises when JJ's in a bar.
Oh, okay. JJ, be on your best behavior.
Yes, sir, Captain, sir.
Don't fucking call me captain. People are gonna hear you. I guess I am the captain now. Shit. All right, well, just go on. Just go on.
JJ will head on in and survey the scene.
Sure.
Yep.
Everyone else good to go?
Yes.
Okay. You all begin to walk in. Morgan, are you riding Chunkini, or are you having somebody? Are you doing the Iron Giant thing where you're on someone's shoulder and they're like? What's the play here for you, Morgan?
I feel like it would be inconvenient of me to ride on somebody's shoulder, so Chonkini it is.
All right, so you get strode across the back of the great and powerful Chunkini and all of his girthy weight. And as your friends take one step after another, Chunkini does many small steps, moving 10 foot per move action, and you hear the small of its battle cry as it is mustered forward, slowly but purposefully, 1 foot after the other. The little rug hugger doing his absolute best to keep up with many of your taller friends. So you all arrive at the very entrance to this seeming inn at the meeting of the Tri-Roads itself. You look over and you can see an adorned plate hanging in coated wood that seems almost not so much weather treated, but coated in this small kind of type of amber material, almost to keep it safe from the various elements. Do any of you speak, read, or write Draconic? No? All right. You see something written in runic-looking language, not too dissimilar from Dwarven, but definitely of much more sharp and coarse line work. Many of you who are of a studied sort do recognize it as the language it is, but are unable to decipher its meaning. From the porch where you now currently stand, you note a pair of large, pressed-together double doors, almost like barn doors that sit, standing a clearance of about 9 to 10 feet tall from floor to ceiling. And from inside, you can hear laughter, the sounds of utensils, and various types of revelry from inside. Who wants to go in first?
Should I read this first?
Can you read it?
Sorry, I just got cut off from everything. I think my computer's being a little janky.
Discord is being weird today. Let me tell you what.
I can ritually cast Comprehend Languages and spend a bit of time reading this. We want to know why this is written before the door.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Also give Chunkini a little time to catch up to us.
You as you say this, you turn and look. Chunkini's about halfway to catching up to the rest of you, and you hear from its little feet. Chunkini is effectively groaning the whole way. It's very far distance for the very fat cat. It might lose a few pounds, and it's not okay. It's not okay.
So before I do this, I just want to check one thing. This isn't written like chalk or anything that I would smudge by touching it to read it, right?
No, it seems carved. Almost seems like
Okay.
etched a little bit.
Yeah, so I will ritual cast Comprehend Languages and then run my fingers along it to read what's said here.
Okay. You reach up, cast your spell, and begin to decipher here. And it says, tired though you may be, you may rest your soul here. Leave your troubles at the door and bring nothing to fear.
Well, keep your problems outside and don't bring them into this place, so sounds good to me.
Sounds fine to me too. JJ will open the door and let everyone else in.
Okay, no problem there. Let me do this here. All right, so JJ, you swing open the pair of large, kind of ornate double doors. You see a number of creatures, travelers, a number of strange occurrences. Primarily, you do see quite a number of humans counted among the various races here, but there is a very heavy lean to a number of creatures seemingly of the plains. You note a number of people sat at various tables, laughing, enjoying of glasses of drink and mugs of ale, with very large, kind of curved and twisted horns. Bucky notices a number of them to be of satirist origin, while still others have burnt and bleached skin, denoting heritages of an abyssal nature. You note them as various tiefling races, some more pronounced than others. Looking over the scene as well, you do note a number of creatures that seem almost strange in a way. There are quite a number of feathered individuals that have bearing resemblances to the Kenku you met across the road, but they are more clean. Is it the right way to say it? You're not quite sure, but they are taller, their necks more pronounced, their feathers and foliage of bleached white. They have bright yellow beaks that protrude from the front of their face. They seem to have a more air of regality to them. Mixed in as well, you note several tables, in fact, of these large creatures in heavy, sunburnt, sun-kissed leather cloaks that have been pulled back, and from a number of them, you can see large, pointy ears that seem, many of them, bitten and flea-torn, in a sense, but the fur across the back of their head bleeds into much of what their actual hair would be from atop their scalp. Those of you for Bucky trained in nature, you note these to be catfolk, and they are varied of various races. You see everything from small, slender-looking, almost exhausted and hungry individuals to very, very robust, tiger-esque individuals, those with large, heavy-set beards that bleed into more of a mane design rather than what you're accustomed to. But yeah, you look across and it seems that if everyone here is kind of blending together and more or less maintaining as best they can an air of civility in this inn.
Is there any gambling?
You don't have to roll perception, yeah. From various tables, there are a number of gambling individuals. Everything from, you note in the far left corner of the room, a collection of people cheering, and you're not quite sure what they're currently interested in, but it has drawn a sizable crowd. You do note a number of tieflings that are currently possessed of a number of small card games. You do note one of the card games specifically is not being played with a normal deck of cards. Many of them are playing with these very tall, ornate, almost tarot-esque style cards and holding them and kind of like leaning forward. And there seems to be more than one deck at the table. It seems like a rather curious game, but there are stacks of silver that are being wagered back and forth and being placed upon various cards. And then, of course, you see a very peculiar sight. Near the edge of the bar, you see a number of almost rat-like creatures. Not truly rats, because they have more tanned hides. They're smaller. They are rather possessed of a curious look to them. They have a protruding snout, almost like that of a gator or a lizard, but not quite the size and shape of it, but covered in these soft, almost scales. You see a number of kobolds, and they are currently doing, you're not quite sure what. You know it's a gambling game because you see coins being exchanged by the bar, but they seem to both, at least the two people who are primarily in the midst of what you would assume to be this gambling game, are currently holding 2 live chickens and are waiting around a piece of chicken wire fencing in a circle. There is blood on splatterings near the bar, and they're currently holding these flocking chickens and shouting to each other in this almost rough farmer type of draconian. It doesn't sound fancy and beautiful as what draconian typically sounds like. And you're hearing them bark back and forth at each other before you see one of them step forward in a white shirt that has 3 black lines painted on it. And you hear, "Sit down, sit down, sit down." And they let loose the chickens. The 2 chickens begin to peck and balk at each other, and you see the 2 that have released the chickens start standing up, the little crowd of them kind of huddled together looking over, many throwing various pieces of copper into this small chicken wire fencing, as the 2 that have released the chickens start walking slowly around and trying to reach their hand in to pluck feathers out of these very angry, violent chickens. You're not sure the rules, but someone is probably winning.
Sounds good.
Is there a front desk?
Yeah, you look and you can see where this strange chicken game is occurring. There is a red-skinned, very strange-looking lizard-like kobold that currently stands behind the large, heavy-set desk. And let's see here. There we go. And let's see if we can pull him up here. There we go. There we are. Okay. Oh, that's way too big. Let's do this. Whoop. So, seated and standing behind this large, this kind of bar scene, likely you suspect standing upon stools, you see a red-skinned kobold standing, shouting, wearing a very spattered and beaten leather cape over his back. He wields what seems to be a haft of a pitchfork that has been broken in several places and now seems to be some type of makeshift pointing tool. It is currently in discussions with another patron, a large individual that still has their cloak pulled up, but you can see on the backs of their hands there is this kind of faded, sun-beaten green to their flesh. The kobold squeaks and squawks, and you hear this kind of broken, beaten common, and you hear,
"No, good food I provide to you. Yes, good food indeed. You eat rat delicious. I cook rat for you, stab it, and it'd be fine."
You hear this kind of booming voices. "I don't want no rat, I want real food."
It is real food. Look, very real, not fake or magic.
All right, roast it for me, I guess.
He goes, good, we'll roast. 1 copper coin.
And he goes, ugh, and sets down a copper and slides it forward. And you hear, "Do you have anything to drink?" He goes,
"Yes, you want hogwash or you want alcohol?"
He goes, "Take alcohol. What do you have?"
"We have wine, very good, and we have the brown stuff."
"What's the brown stuff?"
It's good, it's brown."
He goes, "I'll take a mug of the brown stuff."
"It's good, have it ready for you soon."
And you hear,
"We have money."
you see it take the little copper coin and chuck it at another one of the kobolds and just pegs the shit out of this other little green scaled kobold woman, maybe? You're not quite sure. They're lizards. And just wing it at them, and you're and catches the top part of this kind of like very wide-hipped individual in what appears to be like kind of a server's crop top, or like a faulty illusion of a crop top, and like holds the coin overhead and goes, "Oh, okay," and runs away and seems to go off to begin to prepare this individual's meal. With a grumble, the cloaked figure begins to move back and away from the bar. As they're turning to look in your direction, you see these piercing yellow eyes kind of stare you down. There's almost a soft effigy of a glow before the individual passes past your kind of stunned and shocked party. You see this red scaled draconian kobold kind of look in your direction. Here.
"You're new. Who are you?"
Just travelers passing through, looking for a place to stay.
"Travelers passing through. Yes, stay. You can stay here. You pay for room. Yes, very good. You give many monies to me."
How much for 2 rooms?
2 rooms. You give monies for this.
Juju's gonna put down 30 copper coins.
30 copper coins. So you stack up rows of, oh God, Morgan, why? It's just, fuck Discord today. That's all I'm saying.
Man, we pay for Nitro and we still get this shit?
We're on the fancy server. What the hell? So you pull out stacks of 10 copper coins like poker chips. You slide them in a stack, and you see this kobold look over and see this like small accumulation of wealth, and its one good eye goes wide, and it looks, it goes,
Oh, many shiny coins, many coppers. Yes, I want this. I give you room to stay in, and you do this. Yes, I keep
2 rooms, and you can have all of these coins.
2 rooms.
Maybe some dinner for us too.
Yes. Yes, dinner good. I have fresh rat, and I have pork as well for excellent customers.
That sounds lovely.
All
I
right.
think.
We take you good service. I give you good service. Yes, very good indeed. So, deal made. Hold on.
And it reaches down, and you see it take this broken piece of pitchfork and reach down. You hear the jingling of keys, and it reaches out this large kind of fork to you. Again, it's a kobold. It's short. It's a rather short creature. And it reaches forward, and you see two very shoddily made iron keys that look like they've probably been used as a weapon at one point. There's like chunks missing from the iron, hanging from the end of his pitchfork.
He goes, you take, third floor, open for you. They are adjoining rooms, so you have open doorway. You take it. Yes, you take, and you're good. And, I give you many brown drink, and only 4 rat.
That's okay. It's fine. If we need more rat, we will bring you more coin.
She say 4 more rats. No one ever eat more than 4 rats. Impossible.
Thank you. What do we call you? Good owner of the bar.
Call me? Yes, you call me. What? Wait. Name. You mean name. Yes. Yes. I have great name handed down to me by the greatest wizard of I am known. I am known as Red Wizzo.
Well, thank you, Red Wizzo.
Of course.
Thank you very much. She's going to take the keys and give one to somebody.
Okay. You look, and at the moment you turn your back and he's like, my deal is done. You see him like slowly kind of take the pitchfork and slide all of the coins off the desk. You hear a jumping sound and a very large poof, and you start hearing the shattering of coins. If you peek over, those of you who are tall enough to look over the bar, you see this guy has now made a pile of coins, the 30 pieces of copper, and is now rolling around in it like it's a hoard of wealth. And just going,
I suck every day. Red Wizzo is rich.
You see the other kobolds that are well-dressed, much more, actually surprisingly well-kept than Wizzo, like stare and like just look very upset. And they're like,
Red Wizzo has all of the money. There's many shiny coins for Red Wizzo. He will do well this mating season. I tell you, we should run bar. We don't own bar. We should buy bar.
And Rizzo just goes, and rolls around in his now draconian wealth.
He did it.
I think this is amazing, y'all. This is fantastic.
Can't believe you ran such a hard deal. You only got 4 rats.
We got a whole floor to ourselves, so.
I'm going to head up to our rooms then.
Same.
Anyone wants to have fun down here, enjoy yourselves.
Could somebody carry me up the stairs? Chonkini ain't making it.
I will carry both Chonkini and Morrigan up the stairs so that the kobolds do not attempt to eat the cat.
Okay.
Thank you.
Or Morrigan, for that matter.
You lift Morgan up easily enough, like a precious 12-inch action figure, no problem there. I do need a strength check to lift Chunkini, though.
Oh, God.
If you miss it, I'll just dismiss it.
That is an 8.
An 8. You go and you lift Morgan, you put her on your shoulder real quick, you take both hands, bend your knees, put both hands underneath Chunkini's weight and go, and you hear a pop from your back. And you are knocked prone as you fall down in a bit of pain, having sprained something in your back from trying to lift the mass that is Chunkini. Truly a legendary creature in its own right, having way more than the mass that actually exists from it. Clearly it's magical. You know, I don't have to explain physics, guys. It's magic. I don't gotta explain shit. You roll in pain for a moment, but Chunkini just... And as you're laying next to it, Chunkini walks up and just licks the front of your nose and then swats you.
I suppose I had that one coming. DM, can I dump a point from my hand of healing to remedy my back?
Sure. Yeah, you reach back and you kind of chicken wing your arm a little bit. You use a point of hand of healing and you push your thumb right at the base of your spine. You hear a snap back into place, and you God. And you stand up, shake loose. You're feeling a little loosey goosey, but you feel great now. You're good.
Yeah, Morgan. No offense to you or Chonkini, but that's a fat boy right there, and I ain't gonna be able to get him up the stairs.
That's okay.
He's on his own.
Just summon him up there. So I'm gonna dismiss Chonkini.
You see Chunkini ready its left paw, and it's kind of like doing this thing where it's like doing one of these. It's like reaching for Orville's nose again, as Orville's trying to get up and getting ready to strike him. And then as it pulls the claws out, you hear... And Chunkini explodes into various small pieces of pixie dust and confetti. And the confetti doesn't actually like fly up, it kind of just goes like thunk, like it's like a pile of chains. Even the confetti's too heavy.
All right, and upstairs we go.
Okay. So the group heads upstairs. Anyone staying downstairs, or you guys good?
Chichi's gonna head upstairs too.
Okay. Bucky, you good? Okay. So as you all begin to head upstairs, who is leading the party? Vel, I assume? You said you were the first one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you all begin to march upstairs. With each step, you hear a good thunk, a kind of a weird echo. That each step is seemingly made out of different material. You're stepping on one stair that is a nice piece of wood. Another is a slab of carved stone. Other ones seem to be made out of like a wire mesh, what appears to be maybe like someone's old chainmail that's been stretched across where a board's missing. Various pieces of bone lay there. You continue walking up. You reach the second floor easily enough. You look out and you can see a small collection of doors, about 4 or so on either side. Each door is misshapen and missing various pieces of nails or refinement to it. It seems to be mostly just pieces of wood, or some of them are actually really well-made carved doors that the hinges don't quite fit right on, and they're all a little bit crooked and a little bit uneven. It doesn't give you the sense of safety that you would like in seeing construction, but, you know, when in Rome. You all move past this second floor, and you begin to head up to the third floor. You walk again, the creaking of the boards. And then, Vel, as you take a step forward, your body almost lunges forward, and you make me a dexterity saving throw as you hear from underneath you, "Ow!"
But I have perception.
You do.
4.
4. You lunge forward a little bit, and you kind of manage to get your hands up, but you kind of hit your head against you fall
hand.
forward. Yeah. Oh, hand, that's true. So you kind of topple. That's the issue then. The missing hand is what I'm going to go with here. You kind of topple and like slam a little bit of your, like, not so much like a slam, but like you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you bang your head against the next 2 steps that are up. You fell upstairs. The rest of the group, you look over and you see this one strange looking piece of wooden stair move up and down as if breathing. And you look, and that's not a wooden stair. It's a brown cloak with lines on it. And as it kind of sits there and like pops up a little bit, you see this small little hammock and a blue-skinned kobold with bruises all over its body wearing this wood-covered cape, and goes,
"Very rude! Very rude! You step on me! I've been stair many days. Everyone skips this stair. Why you step on me?"
Sorry, it's my first time here. I didn't know you were working the stair.
I always work stairs. I am Blue Stair, and I work the stairs.
Oh, well, you're doing a very good job. Would you like a tip?
A tip? Of your nose or ear?
Coins.
Coins? Oh, yes. Yes, Blue Stair would very much like coins. Give me many coins.
I hand over 5 copper.
5 copper pieces. You see this kobold look over and see this 5 copper, and like its eyes go fucking wide, and it looks up and it looks back to you and goes,
Blue Stare can keep all 5?
You can, because you're doing such a good job.
Do you have many coin like this?
I have more, not many. That's a lot of what I had, actually.
Oh, this is a lot that Blue Stare have now. So many coin. Do you require a personal stair? I am very good at a stair. Do you find yourself unable to reach high places? I could help.
You know, I'll keep that in mind. Right now I'm good, but you're my first choice if I need a personal stair.
First choice. Blue Stare has never been first choice. Take that, Red Wizzo. I am first choice now. Can't wait to rub it in your nosies.
And then you see him slowly like crouch down and get back into his area and lay down. And weirdly enough, now that he's in position and not being stepped on, it's almost indistinguishable from a normal wooden stair. Like, it does a good job. Like, seemingly looks normal. Every 6 to 10 seconds, though, you do hear this soft kind of like as they have to re-hold their breath and re-engage their stealth.
I'll get back up, mindful of Blue Stare, and continue on.
And
keep an eye out for any more such things.
It's the old lean one leg over the other. You all make way up the staircase of the second floor onto the third. You come to look, and you can see that the third floor has what can be described as a bit of a support beam issue, in that you note that there are 2 large beams on either side of the room, and in the very middle, a very heavy-looking iron pole that's kind of like an iron bolted pole. So it's a wood pole with like iron straps all down it, and you see this what can only be described as, again, another kobold, but it's a jacked fucking kobold. Like it's got green scales, and it is currently like sitting underneath this pillar, holding up the middle part of the support beam, almost as like from the barrier from it to the floor, and it's holding it, and there's no shaking or anything. Uneasiness is that as you walk up, you hear this like,
Hello, pay no mind to me. You are safe.
You hear this, and it lifts one leg up and shakes it, and you see it wiggle its 3 little clawed toes and step back down. And you hear the entire part of the 4th story kind of groan a little bit as it does this. And it maintains this position, holding up this large iron beam. You're on the 3rd floor. You look around and you can see, much to what was promised, two doors on the left-hand side of the hallway and 2 doors to the right-hand side of the hallway. You look over and you note that the 2 doors on the right are of actually nice quality. One of them has a firm wooden door, and the other one has an iron gate that has been affixed where a door should be. You note that your keys fit both these doors. The iron gate is barred, by the way. You can see right into the room.
I declare I'm leaving JJ here for the rest of her life.
This place is perfect!
This place is perfect!
I'm gonna be honest with all y'all. I'm going to leave my personal effects up here. Because I do know myself. But I'm only going to bring so much money with me back downstairs. Please, for the love of the gods and the weavers, do not let me do anything more than what I bring downstairs.
All right, then.
Sounds good.
JJ, if you don't mind, I'll be joining you in that journey downstairs. I heard a challenge that nobody can eat more than 4 rats, and I that seems right up my alley. So I'm going to go down there and try and eat 5 rats while you do whatever it is that you do.
Yes.
And we can maybe find Colt when he comes in and direct him on up so he don't get himself into too much trouble.
Yes.
Bucky will go with Orville to see the rat eating.
Okay. Morgan, Velithil, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna head into the room with the actual door.
Okay. You walk in and you're like, oh, great. You unlock the wooden door. It slides open. It's almost a strange thing because you go to pull it and it kind of just like slides to the right. And you look and there's no hinges on this door. It seems to actually be on a slider. So you look at it and you very much question how secure this door is. There's a locking mechanism on the handle, but the door is a slider. It's like a back screen door. And you kind of just slide it into the wall curiously after unlocking it and go, huh. And you turn the key and the deadbolt comes out, but it doesn't open forward and backwards. So there's literally nothing here locking this door. It's the strangest thing. You look to your immediate left and you see this large metal looking, it almost looks like a fish hook, but for like maybe a dolphin or something larger like a shark. And there is a set of like very rusty looking chain and something written on a placard in Draconic right next to the door. You note that the handle on the inside of this door has a number of scrapes and rust coverings of it, as if most likely the assumption is to wrap the door closed with this iron chain on a hook.
These are the most ingenuitous creatures that I've ever seen.
They do okay.
It is.
As the pair of you enter into the room, you note what appears to be a very fanciful, beautiful bed set up in the middle of the room. Some small, almost slapdash furniture. You look and you smell mold somewhere in this room. You look about, you can see there's a shag, almost furred carpet of some long dead creature. And every so often you can see tufts of the fur twitch and move. You're not sure what the hell that's about. And then you look and you can see that, yeah, there's as Red Wizzo said, there is in fact an adjoining door to the adjacent room. And as you look over, you can see there's no intersecting wall. It looks like they've taken 2 big curtains and tried to make a wall, and then there is just a door in the middle of these 2 rooms. So, it's good. It's an adjoining room. The door has no framework or anything of that sort. You actually look down to it, and it appears the door is in the very middle section of the floor and has been nailed down at its base to just stand there straight. There's no chance that it actually opens or moves.
He wasn't lying.
Red Wizzo never lies.
I wouldn't imagine it.
So,
right. Are there pillows?
you look over and you kind of you survey the room and you're looking for pillows. You see a very large, again, kind of furred stitchwork blanket that seems to be a mishmash of both fur and leather. And there's some linen in there, but it's like in sections. It almost looks like if you rolled out the girl from Nightmare Before Christmas and made her into a cloak. Like, it's just patchwork Sally all over the place. As you're scanning the room for pillows, you do note one in the corner. A large kind of white bleached pillow sits prompted up in the corner. Looks to be about the size of like a full body pillow.
Does it look like it's providing support to the wall?
You give it a once over with your insightful eye. You kind of give it a look over. No, it seems detached from the wall. It looks as if whoever the last resident was kind of just tossed it into the corner and it's been sitting there for a little bit. You do know a few kind of like ginger cobwebs are kind of connecting the pillow to the wall, but not in like a support fashion, just in that it's been sitting a while.
Right. Well, this place is going to be delightful for all of you, and I will take out my usual blanket that I rest on and put it on a space on the floor, and then I'll go grab the pillow to set next to me.
Okay.
So that I can put Colt's tooth under it.
You walk up and you set up your blanket. You walk to the pillow in the corner and like, better than nothing. And you reach for it and you grasp it, and the pillow twitches and goes and squirms around in your hand, and then goes immediately soft, and you hear,
"Pillow services provided. Where should I go?"
Can I guess? Is your name White Pillow?
What? No, I'm Purple Pillow.
Purple Pillow. That's beautiful.
Yes, much softer than white.
I would imagine so. You're purple.
Yeah.
It's a superior color.
Wait, I'm a superior color? I thought I was a kobold this whole time. I can't wait to tell my mom I'm a superior color.
She'll be so proud.
Yes. Where can I assist you in sleeping?
You know what? You're doing fine right here.
Are you sure? I'm very soft.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, thank you. I always thought I was a bit rambunctious, but hearing that I'm good is good.
Keep up the good work.
Okay.
and you immediately see the pillow going from like almost like a rigid board to like slump back into the wall, and then you hear this soft kind of like
see about borrowing someone's actual pillow that isn't going to steal my necklace.
That's a microaggression against kobolds. All right.
Where's the lie?
Where's the lie, though? They are what you say they are. All right. So you'll try to get set up in the room as comfortable as you can be. Morgan, are you gonna chill in the room as well, or are you heading down?
I want to see Orville eat those 5 rats. So
okay. You climb atop Orville's shoulder and peek your head up over the side of his button-up shirt. And you're like, onward to rats.
Onward, noble steed.
Onward, noble Orville. You all begin to make your way down, securing the sliding door back for Vel as she's attempting to make some sense of the chaos of this area. And as you exit the door, let's go ahead and take a break here. It's 8:45 now. We'll hit it for 10 minutes. So we'll come back at 8:55 for more happenings at the inn at the crossroads. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It'll be fun. Hopefully. I don't know. Maybe it's really cringe. I don't know. Whatever. So we'll see you guys in 10 minutes. So we'll shoot for 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes. This is your 10-minute reminder. Captain's quarters here telling you 10 minutes remain. We'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye. Bam! Look at that. We came back in one, got it in one take. One take Jones over here. Clap it. Boom, we're back. Hey, what's up? Hey, YouTube. Welcome back from break. That was all of a slide for you. So that'll be fun. Welcome back, everyone. Truly happy to be here. Hope you're having a good night. Hope everyone's treating you the way you deserve to be treated. Yaggity, 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 yeah. All right. Break was great. I had water. I had the rest of my drink. Said hello. You know, all kinds of fun stuff. Welcome back, welcome back. When we last left, the Seekers of Glunty had arrived at the crossroads among the plains of Írden, and they had very much discovered an inn at the crossroads that they were able to partake in. A sign hanging overhead, written in Draconic, that they were unable to decipher until Velithil utilized a number of her arcane affinities to decipher a kind of a welcoming message for this, to leave any troubles at the door for the most part. The group soon discovered the inn at the crossroads to be owned, operated, and manned by a rather strange and eccentric kobold named Red Wizzo. With that, they procured rooms, food, and a bit to drink that they were able to get an order in for, and upon coming to the establishment, started to realize the establishment itself is effectively not just run by Wizzo, but also by many of the other kobolds in his employ or family. Not quite sure. Who knows? Vel has set up in her room and is beginning to begin the process of getting ready for her eventual delivery, taking Colt's tooth and looking curiously around the room in search of a pillow. The previous one in the room itself being unfit to her standards, being that they are so high.
That's not entirely accurate, but whatever.
You know, it is what it is. It's okay. I'm sorry, you're worried about the poor kobolds robbing you. That's what it is. All right. So as you look about the room, the rest of the group makes their way further down still to the establishment. Moving back down the second flight of stairs. Who is leading the group? JJ? JJ, I need you to roll me a history check. Gobbity.
Not 20.
Not 20, okay. You begin to head down the second flight of stairs. You take a step and then hold your foot hanging right in the air as you go, oh shit, and you overreach the stair so you do not step on blue stair once again. You remember that the kobold is actually one of the stairs. He's cloaked rather well. You make strides further down, the rest of the group following your example and avoiding stepping on this poor individual once again. You move further down still onto the main floor, and you hear again the raucous kind of revelry that exists within this space. Various races all moving about the open air and tables, enjoying in what can be considered to be a round of drink. We wouldn't say good drink, but it is drink nonetheless. It would qualify as drink in the formative sense. But as you look around, there are a number of excited and exuberant patrons that have busied themselves with a nightlife at the bar scene rather than settling in for the evening. Various games of chance being played and on display all about, and a number of people sat in what appears to be fitting for this establishment as various haphazardly built long benches, almost German style, set up across the length of the floor, many pounding back pieces of furred, like tufts of fur still exist on it, but pieces of like roasted rat meat, and drinking heavily of their tankards. Most don't seem to bear it much mind, but you see a few every so often kind of stare, especially many of the humans that are here, kind of stare down and look at the porridge they might have ordered, or pieces of the fried rat that sits at the table. Kind of get a picture of like any person's first experience with like Korean barbecue, where you're like, why did they bring squid on a stick? And you're just like, dude, trust me, it's fucking divine. Like, you know, so it's all sitting there pierced and prepared and sat on these little stone plates. But many of them are just like, do you want to try it? Jeff, do you want to try that, Jeff? And they seem to be a little bit skittish. But you all arrive safe and sound. What do you all want to do?
JJ is going to meander to the interesting looking card game, and she'll kind of wander around there, try and get the idea of the game.
Sure. So you'll go ahead and do that. Bucky, Orville, Morgan, what do you all want to be doing?
Bucky's gonna get a drink, some of the wine.
Okay. You walk up and you approach the front bar. You see Red Wizzo looking about, currently talking. Go, no, you will have rat. You'll be fine. And then turns and looks at you, Bucky, and takes their pitchfork and pokes it at the person they were talking to. Go, screw off. I don't want to talk no more. And they like the person's like, oh, geez, fine. And just like walks away like angrily, and looks to you and goes,
Wealthy Horn. Well met, Wealthy Horn. What can Red Wizzo do for you? Anything for you.
You look and you see in his small scales pieces of copper coins have lodged themselves betwixt pieces of his skin, almost stuck to him in a mixture of sweat and overall just kind of like stickiness. You're not quite sure why that is, but yeah.
A wine, please?
A wine. Yes, many wine. Just one?
Just one for now.
No problem. Have wine for you.
And you see Rizzo reach down and pull up what appears to be a wine glass, a snoot, a flute. And you look and there's a big chunk of glass missing. And he looks at it and goes, and looks back to you and goes, no, and puts it down. And then like there's definitely a hesitation of like, I would normally serve this to somebody, and reaches back around. You hear this kind of like shattering sound as he's reaching down below, various broken pieces of glassware and cups kind of clinging together before pulling out what appears to be a kind of a tall pint glass with just like a small chip in the side of it. Goes, and scratches his neck, and a copper coin comes loose. He goes, ooh, and takes it and puts it under his tongue. Goes, wait a second, Red Wizzo, get good glass for you. What? No. And you see Wizzo sets the glass on the counter and claps, and then pulls the coin out from underneath his tongue and just wings it as hard as he can, pegging this small green kobold. And you see them kind of like, ah! And then catch it and go, oh, and goes, fetch the good glass. And goes, oh. And you see many of them kind of like turn. You hear a table tray falls over. One of the other serving kobolds like stare and go, and they all say in unison, the good glass. And goes, and you see the green kobold look around and go, right, and walks off. Comes back a few moments later and walks forward, hefting between two of them this large, tall chalice made of stone and affixed with what appears to be muddy-looking jewels across it. And they put it on the countertop, and Wizzo looks to you and goes, the good glass, the best glass. Wizzo will serve this to you, rich horns. And reaches down and produces a bottle of wine that appears to have just a tiny little bit of wine left, uncorks it and pours it in there, reaches down with his other hand, pulls another bottle of wine that's half full, uncorks that. One's a red, one's a white, pours the other one in there, throws the bottle down behind the bar. You hear shattering. You see reach down again, fills that, pulls up another one. You're not even sure that's wine. It's probably whiskey or shine. Uncorks that, pours it in there, and looks at it and goes, missing something. Missing. Oh. Apologies, Wealthy Horn. I was almost going to serve you a terrible drink. Reaches in, and you can see, pulls out what appears to be a frozen, like a chunk, like just a frozen chunk, that has what appears to be, you think it's like a couple of mosquitoes that have been frozen in a block of ice, and you hear this chipping sound, and you chunks off a chunk and drops it in there, and goes, good. Oh, stir, don't shake. And takes the other half of his pitchfork, the one with like splinters hanging out of it, and stirs this large goblet of wine and whiskey and all kinds of terribleness together. The ice immediately begins to melt, and you have pieces of mosquitoes floating in your drink. And he slides it forward and goes, yes, perfect drink made. Win the good glass. And thinks about it and goes, no, wait, no, don't drink it yet. And he, hey, Decoration, good glass, impress Wealthy. He goes, oh, good glass, yes, of course. And walks back, and you see them reach up over the back of the bar and pluck what appears to be like one of those like fancy little umbrellas. And you're like, oh, that's cool. But as they get closer, you realize, no, it's an actual like umbrella for a kobold. And they set the whole haft of it in the side of this small chalice, and it kind of sits there, and it slowly tips. And then it falls out and goes, supposed to sit, stupid. Green Abbey. And you see this one kobold that's been fetching all the things. Goes, yes, Wizzo? Goes, umbrella holder, new job. He goes, of course, Wizzo. And walks up onto the counter, hefts themselves up onto the bar, takes the umbrella and holds it in your goblet. And holds it with both hands. Goes, you may drink.
Bucky's gonna take a sip.
Hey, Bucky, you lean down, and as you kind of lift this large, kind of not glass at all, chalice, you kind of put it to your lips. This small green kobold lifts this umbrella and tries to move so as to not to disturb your drink. And he goes, "Don't splash! No splashing! No splashing!" You take a sip and you suck down this mixture of strange, room temperature-esque wine. You suck down a few mosquitoes, and you should make me a Constitution saving throw.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 10.
A 10. You drink it in and go, ooh. It's got a very horrible flavor. There's a little bit of crunch from the frozen mosquitoes. But it's not bad. Like, at the end of the day, like, you've had some really terrible well wines, and that's what this is. It's just kind of like a dump cup. At least they didn't spit it.
Sweet.
Yeah. You drink it, and you're like, not often I get crunchy wine. This is good.
3 stars.
Stars?
Yes. And I'm gonna hand him 3 silver coins.
You place 3 silver coins on the counter, and Red Wizzo looks at you and upturns its snout and goes,
What is the meaning of this?
A tip for the good glass.
You tip me in falsehoods?
I don't mean to.
Wizzo kicks the silver coins free of the counter and goes,
No foreign currency. You pay in coins.
Copper?
and thinks about it and goes, what?
Copper coins?
Coins. You give coins to Red Wizzo, yes.
Okay. I hand him 15 copper coins.
You get a stack of copper coins. Oh, apologies for insulting you. I did not want to be robbed by fake currency. Thank you so much. Do you need refill?
Sure.
Okay. I will provide refill when you are done drinking. Goes, Green Abbey. Here. Yes. When drink is empty, you will tell me, or else that will be the end of you. He goes, of course, Wizzo. Of course. He goes, good. He's like shakily holding these 15 coins. He goes, do you need anything else?
Nope. I think we might need a few more rats for our friend here in a little bit.
A few more rats? Yes. Yes, I will have your 4 rats ready for you. Of course. Very good. And you hear immediately, like, both hands just tip over and spill these, like, tons of coins down on the ground. And then as you turn back around, there's just a pitchfork stuck in the top of the bar. And you hear this splashing Scrooge McDuck sound as Wizzo begins to roll around in the coins again. You see 2 of the other servers, these green-scaled kobolds, just staring from behind the bar, just like, it's like he just makes money. He makes all the coins. What? How much are you getting paid? And you hear the other one go, you're getting paid? And as you walk away from the bar, the entire time, by the way, you feel these small talons as you move with your drink from the bar, dig into the back of your cloak. This green kobold is stretched over, holding the umbrella in your drink, leaned over you using one of your horns as a support, and going, very fancy drink, sir. And you kind of walk to the table. Before too long, a number of the serving kobolds get together 4 roasted rats and a large kind of soupy mixture, and they bring it to the table where you're at, Bucky, with Orville and Morgan.
Anybody else want to try this? He kind of holds the chalice up.
As you hold the chalice up, the green kobold like leans forward.
No, thank you, Bucky.
I think I'm good. Thank you.
More for me.
I'm going to turn to the kobold server.
The server slides this stone plate on the table.
You're gonna need to bring more rats.
What?
Big or eat many, many rats. More than 4.
You're funny. No one ever eat more than 4 rats. It is known.
We'll see about that.
Oh, will we?
Yeah?
Oh, well, okay then.
And you see this kobold sit down, tail out on the ground, feet out in front of it, and it just looks up at you with a smile, and its tail waggles a little bit. Goes, go ahead. I wait.
I guess it's rat eating time.
Right, you reach forward and you pull up the first stick, and you can see this large, kind of bloated, fried rat, pieces and tufts of fur still stuck, tail still on, and cooked to a crunchy crisp. You kind of pull it up and look it over, and it smells like burnt rat, yeah.
That's a delicacy where I come from.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're going to try to eat the first rat?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right. You open your mouth, bite into this very crunchy, coarse, tearing, almost semi-burnt rat. You peel it back, pieces of skin getting stuck to your teeth, tendon and sinew pulling forward, blood sprays into your mouth like an unwashed zit as it pooses from that. Clearly the rat had not been fully dead when it had been fried. You go through it, it sprays to the front of your face. You rip off a piece of meat from this rat. Could probably use some salt. But there's a strange, almost hefty pepper taste in your mouth. A burning sensation envelops and coats the inside of your mouth. Go ahead here and please make me a Constitution saving throw.
It's a 21.
A 21. You bite it, tear through, and you manage to work through. The fire begins to coat the inside of your mouth, this heat, this umbral burning sensation. You peel into the tail. You can feel this almost jalapeno-esque flavoring and dusting that has been coated into the rat's tail. And finally get to the front. You put both sides of your lips on the other side of this rat's head, right off the side of the skewer, and you drop it on the plate. You crunch the rat's head between your molars, and you begin to swallow down what you have there. You look it over. The first rat has been conquered. The kobold looks to you and goes, Go on.
I'm going to grab another skewer and go for another rat.
All right, you reach for a skewer. Go ahead and roll a d4. 3. So, okay. You reach for it and you look over and you're like, okay, I'm going to prove these guys wrong. You look and you see one of the rats is a little bit larger than the other ones. And you're like, I'm going to, once I get that one done, they're not going to lose any faith in me. You reach forward, take a big bite, same thing as before, this kind of like almost pocket of its insides rupture in, you begin to tear into it very viscerally, almost like a fine sauce sprayed over your face. As you tear into this one, though, you feel a twitching, an emotion, and the rat looks up at you, skewer through its face, and goes, and twitches at you. And you go, oh, you got a good one. And you begin to crunch through, tear it apart, start ripping into it. Again, the overwhelming flavor of heat, this almost mixture of jalapeno mixed in with a bit of a habanero spice, and there's some type of red mixture you can't put your finger on, but it is like eating a Scotch bonnet just wrapped in hate. Go ahead and make me another Constitution saving throw. Your eyes begin to water.
That's a 10.
A 10. You begin to tear through it. You get to its stomach and you pull back, and there are no less than 2 whole purple peppers in the inside of this thing's stomach that apparently they've been feeding these things. You bite into one and it sprays this pepper flavoring on the inside of your mouth. Immediately you lose all sensation in the side of your mouth. Your eyes begin to swelter and cry out. You tear through it, pull back, and as you begin to chew, your chewing becomes longer and your jaw becomes heavier. And as you're sitting there going, yeah, and you're really like committing to chewing through it, Morgan, Bucky, you look at Orville, his bottom jaw is no longer moving. He's just kind of like, tears streaming down his face, his nose just kind of becoming a pool down the front. And you can tell he mentally is chewing. His jaw, though, is just slack. The kobold looks and goes, It stands up, dusts off the front of its apron, goes, good try. And walks back to the edge of the kitchen. You're like, as your jaw just does not command or move with you. There is just an intense, painful heat running through your entire body. Like, water! Yeah, you take the chalice, the kobold, leans over and you pour this like wine into your mouth. It coats the inside and then begins to spill out the front as your jaw just cannot close. You think something has disturbed your muscles in your body itself, and you have gotten to the point now where there's just a searing numbness throughout the entirety of your face.
Well, we tried.
No, we try. You see a number of other patrons that are eating these rats, and now that you're really looking at it, you see a number of them are like sweating as they're eating these things, and you're like, oh, you sons of bitches. So yeah. Morgan, is there anything you want to be doing?
No.
No. No worries. If you decide you want to do something, let me know. As this is happening, Orville, and you feel a very heavy, weighted hand placed upon your back, and here, are you doing okay there, Orville? You see Colt standing there, a couple of like rolled up bundles of like bit and tackle over his shoulder. You can see the horseshoe's been re-pulled, so he'll put them back on later. Looks over and goes, you doing okay?
I'm alright. I rat spicy.
Right. Bucky, you understand any of that shit?
Yeah, he ate some spicy rats, and now he can't form words or chew on anything, it seems.
Right. All right. Well, yeah, it's colder than the witch's tit outside. I'm gonna go upstairs. Well, I assume we got rooms, right?
We did.
What floor are we on?
Yep. 3rd floor.
Alright.
Just watch out for the blue stair.
The blue stair? Well, it's like painted blue? All right. I'll watch out for it. And he starts walking away. You very quickly hear an echo from upstairs. And you're, oh! Watch where you're stepping! Oh, sorry, little fella. I just didn't, shit. Why are you there?
Fight.
Before long, Colt arrives up on the 3rd floor, very apologetic, and shows up and like looks to the open great room. He's like, now which one what's our room? And looks over and like looks through it and goes, hello, anyone? You in there?
Yes, these are our rooms, Colt.
Oh, great. And he like walks up and he's like, is the door unlocked? And he touches the door and it just slides over. He goes, oh shit, okay. Walks on in.
I didn't lock it yet because no one else was joining.
Sure. Anyone call the bed yet?
What'd you say?
Did anyone call the bed yet? Sleeping on the bed? My back is all
Oh,
fucked up. So
no, everyone else went downstairs. You know me, I don't use beds, so it's for whoever wants it.
Sure. All right. Well, early bird gets the worm, I guess. And he goes and like begins to take off his armor and like set his pack off to the side and stretch out a little bit, and then goes and sits on the bed, and you see the bed kind of shift unevenly. And you're, oh, what the fuck? And he reaches down and pulls back the sheet of the bed, and there are 4 lumps that are unevenly displaced in this bed. He goes, I'm assuming this is occupied. Here.
No, we're very comfortable. We assure you, sir. Please, lay down.
No. Yeah, fuck that. He pulls the
purple pillow is in the corner to provide extra comfort if you need it.
Who and what now?
Just point to the pillow.
You point to the pillow, and like the pillow is just not moving. He goes, "What the fuck's in the pillow, Vil?"
Another kobold. They're just doing their jobs.
Right. Well, sleeping on the floor it is. He starts pulling his pack out and setting up his bedroll.
Can I borrow a pillow?
I only got the one, but
I only need it until my delivery arrives.
All right. I already gave you my damn tooth, so sure, here you go. He hands you this, like, it's a pillow in every, like, fundamental sense, in that it is a piece of cloth wrapped with some type of fluff, but it's like a military pillow. It's like, it's not really there for comfort, it's there for show.
I don't travel with one because all I do is sit on a blanket to meditate.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Some elves sit on pillows, that happens. Walks away from that one. So, meanwhile, back downstairs, JJ, you
I got that reference.
Hey, I understood the reference. You look downstairs. You've been monitoring this strange game of tarot cards. Go ahead and give me an insight check.
That's a 10.
A 10. Do you speak Infernal?
No.
Okay. You're not 100% sure how the game is played. You do understand that there is some level of arcane prowess that is required to play it. The pair of them shuffle up these large tarot decks before each of them, draw 7 cards off the top, and seem to play these beautifully orchestrated and painted bits of paper flat down, every so often shouting that they have summoned a divine beast of some nature or some respect. As they look over, you can see this beautiful scenery displayed out here with various crescent moons and heavy set creatures of legend. One of them seems to be playing something that resembles like their collection of tarot cards. They continue to draw and play things that are resembles of like a bright green forest with a number of strange tall depictions of elves and satyrish creatures. You follow it for a few minutes before the other individual seems to turn half of the cards he has on the table sideways and shout something in Infernal before giving his opponent the finger. You're not sure exactly what's going on, but you have the gist that it's something like a strange macabre game. You're not quite sure. You see small motes of like magical energy erupt whenever they turn these cards, and there are small illusionary effects that emanate out from the tops of the cards themselves. The 2 tieflings seem rather proficient at this game, and as you look it over, they seem to both be in on the game, but there doesn't seem to be like anyone else other than another one of their compatriots sitting there kind of like watching over, and every so often just going like, and you hear like, and it seems like they're kind of like advising on what the correct move would be or option. They're kind of like helicopter parenting whatever the game is.
She will go up to them and I guess wait until it seems like maybe a game is finished.
Sure.
And ask them about it.
Sure. You turn by and kind of look to the tieflings. They all kind of like turn and stare at you and like seem a bit taken aback. Many of them they speak Infernal back and forth, and then one of them speaks up and goes, can I help you?
Yeah, obviously passing through. I've never seen, I'm a gambling gal normally, but I've never seen anything quite like this up north. What is it?
It's a, it's a game you can play with friends. It is a very difficult game to learn. It is not specifically for gambling in the traditional sense. Ma'am.
And you look and it dawns on you, all 3 of these tieflings are male and very standoffish.
Oh, well, thank you. I do have one more question. Is it hard to come about one of these decks, or is it something that I should maybe seek out?
You mean like to play?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's fairly difficult to get a deck, especially in these parts. We brought them from our homeland. It is rather more popular there than it is here in Ravon. I've not seen any vendors for packs over here.
Oh, okay. I do appreciate it. Could I ask where y'all are from then? So I can take a look out if me and my friends are ever in an area, maybe I could learn a little bit more about it. And I mean, I've got some time on the road that I could.
Of course. Yes, we are. Sorry, I was not expecting such company tonight. My friends and I are from Valtora. Our hometown is Bone Wharf. It's a small port city, but it has a very large gathering of individuals.
Okay. Well, thank you. Uh, if y'all don't mind, maybe I could watch and learn. If not, it's totally okay. I'll go find another table to gamble at or whatnot. So, but I appreciate the information thus far, anyways.
Yeah, no, of course. You want to watch us play our game?
It's a game of cards, so certainly.
Okay. And he turns and like immediately you hear this like much more confident voice in Infernal, like, and they all like immediately as they begin to talk, go ahead and roll insight.
11.
You get the sense that they are panicking, like absolute worried. A few of them, like, they are tieflings and they're starting to form like small beads of sweat on the corner of their forehead. And one of them kind of turns and looks at you and goes, well, you could certainly watch our game. You could sit here next to me, maybe, so you could see the cards better.
Sure. You know what? Sure. Would y'all like a drink or anything?
Oh, yeah. You're going to buy us drinks?
She's gonna just take out her little shot glasses that she carries around in her.
Shot glasses?
and some of her shine and just pour little shot glasses. Here y'all go.
Oh, all right. Thank you. And they all kind of like look at it and they like sniff it, and like one of them kind of like upturns his nose a little bit and the other one jabs him really fucking hard in the ribs, and immediately he's like, oh, it smells great. And they all like get ready to drink with you, seemingly like you could have put poison in front of them and they'd be fine to drink it right now. So yeah, you throw it out. All of them throw it back out. All three of them go and they set the glasses down. One of them does like half the shot and then is like sipping the other half. It's like, that is very good. Yeah, very potent. I like that. You hear like kind of a hissing sound from in front of like, and it's just like, and like gestures to you, and you get the general gist that like they continue to refer to you as a female, and that's kind of like how they're trying to address the situation.
Right. I'll only watch y'all for a game or so, but I appreciate it. I appreciate your hospitality.
You see the three of them go, oh, okay, just one game, just okay. So we can show you the rules. I will try to explain. Well, I should use my elf deck because it is very easy to follow, and I could explain it well. And then you hear like, I am the champion though from back home. I've won many games, so I should be playing my merfolk deck. It is very powerful and very impressive to watch. And he goes, well, no, but I could play my game. I just won. You know, you want to see me? And they all like start squabbling over who's going to be the two people that get to play. Before eventually two of them set up, and you see these long tarot decks, and they begin to shuffle up these big heavy looking cards and set them down on either side. They pull out these two pieces, and you hadn't really noticed it before amid all the different coins that were being set on top of cards. But as you look a bit closer, you note that these coins are actually not legal currency. They appear to be coins made out of tin with strange sigil writing on them. With your base insight and kind of knowing what you know about these people, you look over and you note that on one side of the tin is what you'd assume to be a number, and on the other side is a larger number. And you're not quite sure about that, but they were placing them on top of these various tarot cards. As you kind of survey the scene, you look and you can see in the middle that you hadn't noticed among all the coins, these two kind of like almost polished looking marbled pieces of bone with various infernal runes written across them. They both put the two strange pieces of bone in the middle of the table, and they seem to be matching the sigil on the top. They look at each other and they hold their hands out, and you see them play parchment shears. to see who apparently starts this game. They draw from the top of their tarot deck and begin to look forward. And as they immediately, like as they pull their cards into their hands, you see like a surge of confidence from the pair of them. And where before they were kind of like hands up playing cards, now like one of them puts his arm over the side of the chair, like kind of like open chest in your direction, and goes, "Oh, I think I will start with this card," and like flattens it on the table, and then looks at you and is like, "It's a very impressive opening move. It's very impressive. It establishes tempo. It's a very important aspect of the game." And then goes, "Your turn now." And you get the gist, and you kind of like go back and forth, and like you don't understand any of the fucking rules because they're not explaining them. Because every time one of them starts to describe like one of the mechanics or like how these like glowing illusionary cards work, the other one kind of like nudges them and it's like, "Oh, it's very complicated. It's just this one does more. It has more power than the other one, so it's just you have to play these in this order. It's called the chain. It's a demonic chain that it scales out. So the first in, last out is the kind of, and you try to understand these concepts. Go ahead and roll an intelligence saving throw.
Six.
You don't pick up on much of it. It seems like there's just like every fucking tarot card does a different thing. They have all kinds of bullshit that you're not even sure are written anywhere on these cards. These people just seem to know what they are. Like most of the cards are just top to bottom a picture. Like they're just covered in art. Like who the fuck knows what the hell they do? But they seem to all innately know all of the rules, and they call each other on the rules constantly. It's rather difficult to follow. The only thing you really get out of it is that they apparently call the game, the rough translation into common is called Collected Conquest.
Could she also? She's going to be trying to scribble down notes in her little notebook.
Oh yeah.
But could she also write down phonetically what it's called in Infernal as well?
Sure. Yeah. You write it down. And yeah, you can write down that you've learned a very rudimentary introduction to Collected Conquest.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, folks. Maybe if my path ever takes me to your home lands, I'll maybe learn a little bit more about it.
Oh yes. If you are ever in Bone Wharf, maybe we could get your scry information. What is your full name? Maybe we could stay in touch. We could scry you sometime.
I go by JJ Lightning.
JJ Lightning. Okay. Oh yeah. I am Formir. Nice to meet you, JJ.
What about y'all? What are y'all's names as well?
Oh, I am Formir. This is my friend Tazan, and the rowdy one over there is Jasal.
What do you mean he's rowdy?
Well, he's a little rowdy. He gets very excited. He's very emotional. And you note that this individual like was the first one who like won a game and was like very excited to win. You get like the sense that this is a person who like celebrates very loud and takes losses very poorly.
Gotcha. Well, thank y'all. I'm gonna assume that it's been like a decent amount of time.
Yeah, it's
with them trying to explain it.
Like after the explanation and how slow they were going and all these like very large movements to play the cards and the small little illusionary effects that emanated from these tarot cards. You're like, what the fuck? Like blackjack takes 10 seconds and this Collected Conquest game, one game took them like 45 minutes to an hour. And then nobody won any money. They just had these little tin coins that aren't actually worth anything, that every so often they would just arbitrarily say, these get a +4 on this. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, Yeah, very complicated game, but about an hour's passed. You turn back. Orville's finally like dry mouth. Bucky and Morgan, you've watched Orville suffer for the last hour amid stifled giggles. But yeah, you come back to the group as they are wrapping up eating. You actually find that the soup that was provided is actually just carrot and pea soup. You're not sure why people aren't just eating that. And as you look, like slowly people are figuring it out and be like, oh yeah, I'd like to order the soup. And the kobolds constantly have the argument that there is no soup. There's only rat dip. And slowly you're like, oh, we'll take 4 orders of rat dip. And they go, you don't need 4 orders of rat. And like people constantly are in arguments with that before you guys are all served actual like veggies. But JJ, you return to the table.
I think I found a card game I can play where I won't lose money. I ain't lost a dime.
You look over and JJ is like adamant, like excited that like there's finally a game she can play where there's no risk of losing money.
But you gotta buy the cards, right?
I do. We have to go, Fonier said, goodness gracious. They are from, Valtora.
I'll move it here.
Barnworth?
Bone Wharf.
Bone.
They are from right here. Bone Wharf. Among Agony Bay in Valtora.
Sounds like a fun place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could... If we ever head that way, or maybe one of the cities has something, I don't know. I did not understand what the hell was going on. It was very pretty to watch, though. Very pretty. They're a little weird, though. Not gonna lie, just a little.
Strange folks, wonders never cease.
Well, we got some extra rats. If you want any.
You look and there are 2 soaked through rats sitting at the table.
She will eat a rat with soup.
Okay. You go and you go and crunch into the rat. You dip it in the carrot and peas soup, and kind of tear into it and start to eat. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
17.
17. You look over and you kind of tear into this again. You bite in and it bursts in your mouth. This explosion of flavor, this heat and blood kind of tear through this semi-roasted rat. Literally the outside is just crusted. And you begin to pull clean through it and you're like, oh, and it starts to burn. You gulp down some of the carrot and pea soup to kind of soften the impact of it. And as you kind of go through it, you manage to clear through the entirety of this roasted rat on a stick. It is filling and nice, but at the end of it, you're feeling this very tingling sensation on the inside of your mouth, this burning feeling.
Ooh, that is spicy.
DM, does Orville have the ability to speak yet?
Yeah. Your jaws come back.
All right, cool.
Whop it in.
Yeah, no, be careful, JJ. Those rats are spicy. I only got through 2.
It was pretty spicy, but if you put it with the soup, it kind of mellows it out. It's actually kind of poetic.
Oh, I should have thought of that.
Mm-hmm. So anything you guys want to do at the bar before heading back upstairs?
Fuck no.
Morgan's like, fuck that. We're good.
None of this is exciting. None of this I want.
Morgan's like, I'm a
Don't want no part of this shit.
It's fucking bullshit.
I was gonna get a drink, but then I decided against it.
Yeah. You look at it, and Bucky, as he's rounding out, like nearing the end of his, like he's been sipping on this like goblet of wine. It gets low. Immediately as it gets low, you just see this green kobold that's sat over top of his shoulder holding this drink umbrella. drink umbrella, just turns back and goes, "The drink is low! The drink is low! Red Wizzo! The drink is low!" And you immediately see like, "Oh shit! Refill the drink!" And you hear this like shouting and like a deep voice from Wizzo, and you see 3 green kobolds rush over, heavy bottles of wine half filled sloshing over their heads, and they hop up on the table in front of Bucky and dunk dunk dunk, and they all just pour this weird mixture of red and white wine, just in a swirl until it slowly rises up to the top, and they look over at each other and go, "Oh, we're forgetting something. Oh, Wizzo, the ice!" He goes, "Ah." You hear this tink, 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 and you see him break off this piece of ice and hefts it back, and you hear, "Go long!" and chucks it, and it flies over. You see one of the green kobolds jump up and snatch it, and then slam it into your drink. Wine spills up over your face and over, kind of coating your horns, and there's this floating collection of mosquitoes that slowly begins to drain and make your room temperature wine just like a hint of coldness, with floating pieces of, you're now loading here, there's like dirt in the ice along the mosquitoes, so it's just get that good grain texture in your wine. It's like aerated wine, but bad. But your drink is filled up to the brim, and your umbrella handler kind of looks over and goes, I was almost in trouble.
Thank you, Green Abbey.
Thank you, Wealthy Horn.
Bucky's gonna take another swig.
Okay, you take another big hefty swing. You drink from this heavy chalice, the good glass, and you can feel the wine kind of mixate and pour into your the back of your throat and kind of collect there. Go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw from this new mixture of nonsense.
Another 10.
Another 10. You feel the crunching. You can taste that. You feel something buzz in your mouth. You go, "Oh," and you open up, and a mosquito that was still alive in the ice flies out and kind of buzzes around. You see your drink handler go, "Oh," and like tilt the umbrella to the other side and like reach out and snatch the mosquito and like crushes it, and then moves her talons in front to drizzle this piece of broken and crunched up mosquito back in your drink, and then looks at her finger and goes, and just takes her finger and slowly wipes it on the side of your cheek and goes, "Don't want to rob you of your drink, sir."
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
So yeah, anything else you guys want to do or accomplish before we head into a long rest?
Just to deviate from the game, because we just got raided twice.
What happened? Oh, that's why you don't leave chat open. Who cares? They're just people. Thank you for raiding whoever you are. I'll check after the stream and have a panic attack about it. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Yeah, hi.
Thanks, guys.
What do I do? We're Second Wake. I'm Kareem Zamir. This is the stream schedule below me. These are the Seekers of Galanti. They play D&D. Discord, doobly-doo stuff. All the artists that do artwork for the stream, or we've commissioned, give them all of the monies. If you're Danhausen, and that's a miracle, take your big sack of money and your blimp money and pay these artists, because artists are dope. So yeah, cool, thanks. Love your faces. This is why you don't open chat, because you get distracted by real life and panic. I'm hoping it's like 4 people in a group. That's what the raid is. That's what I'm going to pretend it is. Moving on with my life. So, you're in the bar scene. You have this large, good glass, this chalice that you're drinking from, Bucky. Again, it begins to stick to your throat. The coarseness of this brittle pieces of wine mixture, this concoction made by these kobolds that run the inn at the crossroads. Yeah, overall disgusting. So cutting back to it, Vel, you're given your pillow as your teammates are down at the bar. And Colt kind of lays over on his side and looks forward, and as he's laying on the ground, he looks over and he can see under the bed, and he looks and notes 4 pairs of eyes underneath the bed staring back at him. He goes, "Oh, fuck that." And he rolls over to the side and looks away from the bed, and he's just like, "What
It could have just been haunted. It could have been haunted. No, it has to be fucking kobolds. God damn it. And just tries to like scrunch up his head and just try to get through this to get a long rest, to get to sleep. So yeah. What do you want to do there, Velithil?
I want to take the tooth and put it under the pillow and set it nicely next to me.
Mhm.
And then I'm just gonna relax and start my long rest, and I'm gonna ask Aja to keep an eye out since she has 10-foot blind sight, just in case any uncouth things start to come too close.
Sure. So you set Colt's knifed out molar from our last episode. If we got raided by people who've never seen us before, we're on YouTube. Check out the I don't know. Fucking now I'm distracted. This is terrible. Anyway, moving on. Consummate professional over here. Don't follow us or whatever. So you place his ripped out molar underneath the pillow. You sit next to it. Are you trained in insight?
No.
No? Okay. Go ahead and just give me a general insight check then.
9.
9. You get the feeling like you try to focus and think about it. You think about the deal you made with the pixies from Tiber Village, and you really think about a tooth under a pillow, and you think better of it. You probably want to have either somebody's head resting on that pillow or something that would denote it as your pillow specifically. If it's just adjacent to you, it's not technically in your possession, you would assume. They seem dumb enough that would be a rule.
I'll lay on it then.
Okay. You like awkwardly as a highborn elf, always being constant meditative state, telling never to leave yourself open, always be aware of your surroundings. You awkwardly lay down on your back and like grumble and just go, this is not how you meditate. And it's just very foreign and awkward. And you're like, we don't even have beds back home. There's no reason for this crap. And like, you start laying down on there and you're like, okay. And you rest your head on a pillow and just try your best to concentrate and enter your meditative state, which you eventually do. Before too long, the rest of the group, as you all are finishing up your meals, drinking, and reveling before you all begin to head up. Last call starts to be called throughout that as they head into the upper end of evening. My glasses are fogging up. The group begins to head up. Velithil, I need you to make me a perception check at disadvantage.
What about my snack?
That is with your snack. You'll see why.
Okay. Okay, those were the same number. So that's a 12.
12, okay. You rest there, and you've entered in this deep sleep. You feel some type of chime or drum begin to beat heavily into your eardrums. The world around you falls away as you enter into a deep trance-like meditative state. You begin to feel an usherance of your very soul be pulled in various directions, a dark wind uplifting your almost unconscious, unwaking mind far from your own form. Your body flies and seems to travel a great distance as if you feel the breeze of an open-aired sky crest against your skin. Before long, though, you feel the heat emanate out from the world around you, a blur in motion. You hear a voice kind of beckoning, this muffled speaking in various chants and psalms, and you look down and you can see an entire area on fire. Rivers of lava and motes of flame erupting like pillars of chaos among it. You can see, you're not quite sure what, but something does see you. As you stare down into this chaotic scene, you look and you can see a pair of piercing red eyes stare back in your direction before you feel something bite and clamp down hard on the side of your neck. You open your eyes in a shock and stare, looking directly forward, clasping the side of your neck, and you feel Aja nibbling at your neck, currently waking you up. You look in front of you and you see this blue-skinned, tiny little creature with small, dusty wings with holes rippling through them, a necklace wrapped around its very slender neck and almost kind of tied tight around its bodies, all with rotting and pristine looking teeth collected around it. It kind of stares at you, holding Colt's molar up above its head, and it looks in your direction and goes, and you see it reach back behind it and flick this kind of fairy dust in your face, and you blink, your elven heritage preventing you from falling magically asleep, and it just goes,
You didn't see anything!
And it runs.
Yes.
As far as
Delivery,
as
right?
And you're like, yes, delivery, right? You already see it like running out there. For everyone, as you guys are arriving up the stairs, you see this small blue blur emanate from the door, the crack in the door, and just kind of ping pong bounce like a pinball machine almost off the sides of the walls, and then fly up into the crack in the ceiling and vanish in a spray of glittering dust.
Check under the pillow.
You reach under under the pillow and you feel the makings of some type of tribal effigy adorned by string.
I will pick it up.
You pull it free. You see this collection of almost shells that seem to be made of what you'd almost assume to like a hermit crab would live in. These large kind of cozy looking shells that have been weaved with this almost vine-like thread. At the very center of it sits a kind of strange looking, almost circular pattern device with pieces of string and webbing that interconnect and hold the centerpiece together. In the very center of it, you see what appears to be chips and pieces of pearl that have been interlaced with this large, almost dreamcatcher-esque design.
I will cast Identify on this.
Sure. As you begin to cast Identify, the door opens. Orville, Morgan, Bucky, JJ, you all return to the room. You see Velithil holding this strange-looking necklace and begins to cast Identify upon it. She seems to be weaving that. You see Colt laying on his side, staring at the door as you enter, and you look, and his eyes are open and bloodshot as he's been unable to fall asleep. You look, and you see a very long stemmed pole emanate from the bottom of the bed, and it's been poking Colt in the back the entire time. And you hear muttering, you hear,
Come lay on the bed. It's our job. Hey, bum, why are you sleeping on the floor?
And you hear these soft whispers of these creatures under the bed, attempting to get Colt to lay on it. And you see the samurai laying there going, I swear to God, I'm gonna, Weaver's in heaven, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna turn around, I should just shoot him. I should just shoot him right in the face. They never seen it coming. And he's just muttering to himself, and his eyes are just straight open. He's been trying to get to sleep for the last few hour or so at this point. And you just see this long kind of broom handle poking the shit out of the back of him. And that's the scene you guys walk into.
I'll take the. Does it look like it's big enough to like share?
Yeah.
With other folks. Okay.
You'd almost assume that it's big enough for 4 creatures to occupy the space of.
Well, I will take. I'm gonna lay down.
Okay.
If anyone would like to share the bed, I don't care. There's plenty of room.
As you announce your intention to like lay down, you go, oh, someone else is gonna take the bed. The long wooden handle slides back under the bed, and you see these lumps kind of straighten out, and the bed goes flat.
She's going to find each kobold and give them 2 copper each.
Okay, you see their positioning as you kind of pull back the sheet. You can see these large lumps where clearly there are kobolds underneath this bed to make up the mattressing. And you're like, oh, God damn it. And you look down, you're like, you start thinking about it. You take 2 copper pieces out and you kind of just gingerly slide them to the edges of the bed frame. And you see these small, scraggly little draconic hands reach out and clasp the coins and slide them underneath, and you hear giggling and laughter. And you,
we're rich. Look at all the coins. Look at so many coins. We've never gotten coins before unless they fall out of their pockets.
And then the bed goes completely straight again.
Thank you. Could y'all be super quiet all night? I'll give you 2 more coins in the morning.
There's no response.
Awesome. Thank you. Just gonna go to sleep.
Okay, you go over, throw off your bags, and you roll over on the side. You immediately sink down about a good half foot into the bed before slowly you hear this, and you rise up to a level position, and you feel all these small little hands press up against your back and lower back, and they seem to kind of push you up, and you feel a pair of tails push to support as well, and you hear this straining sound. Quiet. And they all slowly become quiet again. Vel, your spell finishes, and you have what is in your hand is actually an amulet of protection from good and evil.
I'll just pull up the information on that then.
Yeah, no problem at all. I think it's Monster Manual. Let's see here. Yeah, the wearer of the amulet has protection against evil. It's constantly the effects of protection from evil as per the spell, with the one exception. A caster attempting to use the enchantment spell against the wearer must succeed on a caster level check of DC 20. But I will actually send that over to you.
Okay, yeah, I'm not easily finding it.
Yeah, no worries.
I guess the one thing I want to know is it attunement?
Yes, it does require attunement.
Okay, so I'll begin the process of attuning to that, and then have my proper rest.
All right, you lay in and begin your actual proper rest. The pillow now moved to the side. Bucky.
Oh, I'll give that back to Colt.
Oh, Colt takes his pillow and he goes, "Thank you, Vale." And he looks around and he immediately wraps his pillow over both ears and slams his head back down on the wood. Like, sons of bitches. And he just grumbles about it the entire time. For the rest of you, is there anything you all want to do before heading into a long rest?
Nope.
Given that this room's a little bit full, Orville's gonna make a move through the curtain, but not before going, "Ooh, I'm a ghost! Look at me go through the wall!"
Okay, give me a passive intimidation check.
Yeah, it's a 3.
It's a 3. You move the wall and go, "Ooh, I'm a ghost, look at me." And for a moment you see in the other room, now that you've moved this curtain, you see like small furnishings, a table, desk, another large bed. But you know, curiously, this like strange looking, you assume to be some type of lantern or torch, almost like a light fixture, near the corner. And you're like, "Ooh, I'm a ghost." For a moment it twitches as if it's prepared to run away, and then it kind of like settles back in, and you see that as you like really focus on it, you look at it, it's a brown kobold in brown clothes holding 2 candelabras. You're not sure how they think that's normal, but it's just holding it, and for a moment it's like, "Whoo!" But then it goes back to holding it almost like Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast.
Right then, I suppose I'll take this bed unless Bucky or Morgan wanted it. I'm not. Guys,
Bucky's just gonna find a good corner to sleep in.
Okay.
Put his back down.
There's a great corner with a pillow if you want to. It's a great corner. It's well used.
No, not the one with the pillow.
Oh, okay. Okay, so a different corner. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, easy enough.
I'm just gonna roll out my sleeping bag.
You roll out your sleeping your size
My tiny sleeping bag.
your tiny sleeping bag, and you're like, long day. you lay down, and easily enough find sleep and comfort. Orville, are you sleeping on the other bed?
yep.
Yeah. You move forward, take off your boots, unbutton the old shirt. You go to look around. You go to hang it up, and you're like, And as you're like kind of like holding up your shirt, a small clawed hand grabs the collar and plucks it from you and holds it. And you see the candle is holding both candelabras in one claw and now holding your shirt, trying to be a coat hanger. It's like, you hear, "At your service, sir."
You can just put that down. It's all right on the floor. I promise. You ain't got to hold it all night.
It's the most fancy outfit I've ever seen. I wouldn't dare leave it on the floor, sir.
All right. Well, you can hold it then. I ain't gonna stop you.
It even has buttons.
It just holds it. You move to the bed. Same thing as JJ. As you kind of sit in the bed, you sink rather low before slowly feeling a collection of hands press up against your back, buttocks, and back of your head, and slowly raise you up to a more normal level. It really contours to the absolute shape of your body for the best sleep you've ever had, period. But with that, we are at time, so we usually play till about 10 o'clock. Although I was debating going past that, but I feel with Colt missing, we'll call it here. For everyone who stuck with us, this is where we're going to call it for this week. We'll be back next week with more Dungeons and Dragons. We, again, our second week. We have a YouTube, a Discord, Instagram, I don't know, whatever. If we got raided and any of the raiders are still here, thank you so much. That's really cool of you. We try to keep people raiding as well. Lately though, we were raiding artist channels that were doing like fantasy art, just because, you know, that seemed like the cool thing to do. So I am going to do that. Please don't think less of me. I still will go back to raiding gaming channels eventually, but we just like seeing cool shit. That's the cool part. So yeah, there's that. So for everyone who stuck it out with us all night, I certainly do appreciate you guys. As we have on the channel, we have a saying, always be raiding. So this artist seems cool, and I see elf ears, so we'll raid them. They seem freaking cool. Hopefully everyone had fun. The VOD for this episode will be up on YouTube later this week. My stream schedule's below here. JJ over to the side is also on my hosted list, I think. It's Azly, AZLY. Follow her for cool stuff from crafting to Elder Scrolls to all kinds of cool content. But yeah, from everyone here at Second Wake to you watching us there at home, we thank you so much for checking us out, and have a great night. Peace out.